Lilac Zero is a classic arcade shoot 'em up, a genre that I once thought lost to me as I've grown out of it. It's been roughly 27 years since I last experienced a true classic, not the modernized versions blending in other complex designs. The game manages to capture the genuine arcade thrill and challenge, all while offering a more modern approach while maintaining the original vibe of arcade shooters. Shmups were all about challenge and the relentless pursuit of high scores during the age of arcade meetups. It's a much more niche genre now, steadily fading away. However, there are still many titles out there that offer more toned-down difficulty and modernized mechanics, catering to today's generation. These games provide an option for those who do not wish to relive an era of pure, unfiltered, brutal difficulty and gimmicks designed to bleed you dry for every coin in your pocket. I would love to mention some of the issues that I noticed before Lilac Zero's release, but it's clear that the developer has taken much of the feedback to heart. Unlike many other developers who dismiss criticism as a mere skill issue, Victor Pateru Studios has actively addressed concerns and made meaningful changes that have steadily improved the game's reception and functionality. It's refreshing to see a team that listens and adapts, rather than responding defensively with an ego. It's a difficult game because it's difficult, not because it is flawed. What often turns me away from this genre is the retro gameplay, which can make it hard to visualize what's happening on the screen in many different ways. Many games in this category fall short because of the inability to differentiate the effects. Lilac Zero offers a more refined, visually clear experience with bright, highlighted effects and bursts of action that makes everything a bit easier to track because of the contrasting elements. Coupled with a stellar soundtrack reminiscent of the 1990s energetic, upbeat, and impossible not to enjoy 16-bit style, the game revitalizes the classic arcade feel for me, which is not something that's easy to do. While I do love the music, hearing the same song on loop for a full hour while struggling with a stage, especially on the highest difficulty, could become repetitive for some players. A bit more variety would have helped, especially considering that even on the lowest difficulty, the game remains relatively challenging. The sound effects are a bit minimal, and I feel like adding a little bit more flair, especially to the moments like with the sharp contrasting sound effects of the samurai sword slicing, could enhance the experience. It's not a big issue though, it's just a small opportunity for further immersion, like with the unlocking of more color palettes and the rewards along the way. If you're not familiar with the classic of arcade shmups, the concept is refreshingly simple. You start at the beginning of the first stage with a debatable amount of lives, battling your way through everything that gets thrown at you, until you face a boss and then move on to the next section trying to survive long enough without failing. Oftentimes these games focus on a minimalistic design. Lilac Zero elevates the experience with its stylish samurai approach, making each playthrough both exciting and visually engaging, no matter how many times you start over. For high scores, it's next to impossible to maintain unless you're very dedicated to playing through each stage and boss on a single life. This adds to the challenge, but it could be a barrier for players who would prefer a bit more flexibility or who just wish for a casual approach. You do get one continue throughout each stage when it's unlocked, and you can restart from that stage onwards through the main menu options. This offers a toned-down approach that players might value over persistent challenge. The gameplay hinges on three core elements that work in harmony. Your blaster provides your main continuous endless damage source to distant and close targets, allowing you to simply spam your way through most enemies. Next, the channeled samurai sword comes into play, offering a stylish combo system that grants more score when enemies are killed in unison. Finally, you have the ability to dash through enemies and projectiles, slicing them in half and clearing the screen with a short cooldown, granting bonus score if used as a finisher for bosses, also refreshing on orange enemy kills. Together, these mechanics create a dynamic and satisfying experience. There's a refreshing simplicity for the challenge. It's all about precision while navigating through a steady barrage of projectiles which increase based on the chosen difficulty. It's a frustratingly fun game that offers plenty of challenge for those who are on the lookout for elements that can help them hone their personal gaming skills. Shmups were a dominant force in the arcade era, back when going outside and socializing with other kids and teens in person was part of the experience. These games drew in players with their high action, demanding precision, and the thrill of chasing high scores, often at the cost of an entire week's allowance, but now they are appreciated as a nostalgic novelty. It's a love letter to the golden age of arcade shooters, trying to channel the spirit of great games like Battle Gorega and other popular titles like the more recent Mushihime-sama, while refining the experience for a new audience that probably will never be able to truly appreciate it. The game doesn't need to appeal to everybody, nor is it trying to. But for those who appreciate what makes this genre great, Lilac Zero delivers exactly that: pure, accessible arcade bliss and also nostalgia.